Benzan has proven that to get into public service, you must be persistent. Running for the first time for office at the age of 22, Dennis has certainly come a long way, as he is currently serving not only as city councilor for the city of Cambridge, but also as the city's vice mayor, becoming the first Latino to ever hold that position. A proud, lifelong Cantabrigian and active member of the Latino community, Dennis joins us this morning here on Urban Update to talk a little bit Cambridge politics. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Albert. Thank you for having me.
Good. Glad you're here, my friend. Glad you're here. First, I don't want to lose the historic perspective. We've had a good show with three mayors and a vice mayor. But when you became vice mayor and then city councilor, a lot was written and said because, believe it or not, first Latino to ever do so.
That's right. You know, Albert, we came from, we grew up across the street from each other in Cambridge. And, you know, we came from families that came to America to achieve the American dream. And, you know, our communities wanted us to achieve that dream. And I think for me, what I fulfilled in accomplishing what I did in the election last year and becoming the first Latino vice mayor was really work through hard work. And making sure that I take responsibility. And those are the values that my family taught me. And, you know, we, as Mayor Rivera talked about earlier, that, you know, we've got to give back to our community. And I learned that value at a very young age. And so I've always wanted to be a public servant, and I'm really in a fortunate position right now to really serve our community.
All right, let's talk about our community. Let's talk about our great city of Cambridge, a very unique city across the country. I see that one of your goals is to see that the city grows together and not apart. But what strategic plan? I know you have some very strategic and concrete initiatives, right?
Well, one of my most important initiatives is really, if you look at what Governor Patrick has done in his tenure as governor, he's really pushed the innovation economy. And most recently, we saw the red line being called the biotech district of our state. And, you know, what I'm doing in Cambridge is something that's very, very important. When our parents came here, they came to work in the factories at Kendall Square. Those factories are now gone and have been replaced by the most innovative companies in the world, Novartis and Google and Microsoft. And what's happening in Cambridge is very unique because we have a strong economy, but the people who live in the city are being left out. And they're being left out because of the achievement gap. They're being left out because there's not enough training around science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. And so what I'm pushing is really the training of our residents around STEM and STEAM, science and technology, so that they have access to the economy. You know, and this is very, very important because as housing prices go up, people are unable to live and to afford to live in a city like Cambridge. And so a lot of the work that is being created in Cambridge is being outsourced to folks that are coming into the city because they qualify for the jobs. And what I want to make sure that we do is that we have a homegrown workforce. And I think that's something that most of the mayors that you've seen here with us today are dealing with and grappling with, and is how do you train our residents for the innovation economy and the jobs of the future? And that's a major challenge for many of our cities.
Yeah. How do you connect these very global companies to a very local community and workforce?
Well, you first have to create what we have in Cambridge, which is a working group of citizens and corporations and teachers and colleges to really figure out a way to tackle this major problem. And that's really the first step, is building partnerships. And, you know, the second step is creating a way of access for internships and apprenticeship programs so that the young folks in our city can learn and can get in. But another major part is, you know, we're looking to create in Cambridge the first of its kind STEAM Center, Science and Technology, Engineering, Arts and Mathematics Center, which would be an innovation center for Cambridge residents. So that if you're 2 years old, you can go in and you can begin to learn about science and technology. If you're 18 or 34 and you're out of work, you go in and get some job training. If you're 70 years old, you can go in and learn about smartphone technology.
For Cambridge residents.
For Cambridge residents.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. What is this regional approach that I hear all you guys talking about behind there, this regional approach?
Well, you know, more and more we're seeing that the problems that we have in Cambridge are problems that we have in Lawrence and we have in Boston and other places across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And so what we're looking at is trying to work together around these issues. Instead of seeing us in competition, see ourselves as cities that can work together and build partnerships.
So you're not going to be competing with our first guy, Mayor Walsh, right? Cambridge and none of this stuff.
Not at all.
All right, my man.
I appreciate you having me.
Thank you so much. And again, hopefully you'll be back later on, right?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, that's awesome. That's Dennis Benzan, Vice Mayor of Cambridge. That's it for this edition of Urban Update. But before we say goodbye, I remind you that one of Boston's oldest cultural traditions in the South End is coming up. I know Dennis will be there. Festival Betances takes place on the weekend of July 18th to the 20th in the heart of West Dedham Street in that historic neighborhood of Boston. More information is up on screen.